Hey, Brian Glazer. Brian, I'm reeling you. Country taking on the Sahuaro Cougars, and it's senior night here, so we have a pretty packed field for the Bobcats of Cienega High School. There are two seniors, Liz Deaton and Courtney Burrup. And for the Sahuaro Cougars, well, they have a large cast here today. They have 6 seniors and about 20 runners or so. And off you see in the distance, there they go. Joining us on our broadcast today, Sarah Arnold, one of our seniors from Bobcat TV. And joining us today as our special guest analyst is Brian Glazer. Brian, thanks for joining us today. Tell us right now, the weather seems to be perfect here. We were out here about a month ago, and it was blistering hot. Much cooler here in the middle of October. How does the weather affect the runners out here today?
Well, the heat can definitely affect them because, well, it's just when it's hot, it's not easy to run because that's what you're focusing on a lot. Especially like when it's cool, you don't focus on the heat, but when it's hot, it's hard not to focus on the heat.
Well, there's a nice breeze here today. We were talking with our Chief Operating Officer, Cody Losi, about the breeze, and it's a nice cool breeze here. How does that affect the runners?
Personally, I don't think that the breeze really affects the runners at all.
So just keeps them cool, actually, probably as they're running through here. Now you're going to see the runners going to be coming down our way. So we'll see here who we've got in the lead. It looks like that's Sienna Johnson. And Brian, you can correct me if I'm wrong. There we see Liz Deaton following behind as well. From Sahuaro, runners to watch today, Heather Dowdall, who is a junior, Alex Salazar, who is a senior, Daniela Cabrera, a senior, Tessa Brooks, a senior, Haley Ward, who's a freshman, Caitlin Jenkins, who's another senior. So those are the runners to watch here for Sahuaro. For Cienega, it's Sienna Johnson, who is a sophomore, Liz Deaton, who's a senior, Alyssa Strite, who is a sophomore. Those are the 3 top runners from the Bobcats here today. So nice, cool breeze. I can tell you as a spectator that this is like perfect weather. Right in the middle of October, it feels like the fall that's coming on here. So you can see the course as our runners go along the fence line here, heading toward the west. So we're looking due west here, pretty much directly into the sun, and the sun, about to set in about an hour and a half or so. But it's just a perfect weather here today. How about running on the grass, Brian? I know that a decent portion of this course is set out for these guys and these girls here to be running on the grass. Any effect on that as opposed to running on a paved course like a road or on running on dirt?
Most of the team, I think, do not enjoy the field as much as other parts because I'm not sure why. It's not a fun part of the course.
A little spongier, kind of, and kind of like not like quicksand, but I think that you have to work more to get those feet up and to keep your stride going. So it might have an impact on kind of like your stride.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we're going to look at a video that we took earlier today because these runners are going off into the distance and we will not see them here. What you can see at the neighboring baseball field, we have some irrigation happening right there. The sprinkler systems are there. I know at one point in the middle of a course that there was a hose area, so they would have a spray hose to cool the runners off. That's not going to be in play today because it's not necessary. So the weather is just perfect. So Cody, let's go and take a look at one of those clips from one of our seniors here today, recorded earlier in Bobcat TV studio. What are you thinking about when you're running your race?
I'll go first, I guess.
All right.
Usually when I'm running, I try and think about different things just to get my mind off things. And then usually in like end of the second mile or third mile, I try and think about my form to make sure it's still steady and going strong.
All right, well, I kind of think about, sorry, like losing my voice. I tend to think about my pace, and so I don't wear myself out like within the first mile. I think about, I try to focus on my form because that tends to conserve energy, and I also tend to think about random things to take my mind off all the pressure and stuff that's going on around me.
Tell me about good running form. What are you trying to focus on? What's good running form?
Not striking with your heel, landing on the ball of your feet, keeping your shoulders level.
Throwing your elbows back.
Yeah, not moving them side to side. Make them go halfway. What else?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So the last home meet you guys had was extremely warm. Today's weather is much nicer. Can you tell us about the difference? You've been training, you're used to this weather. What's the difference between a month ago and today's weather?
Well, today it's a lot colder outside, and I'm used to running in the cold, so I like running in the cold a lot better than the heat. I think in the heat it's harder for me to run, just because it's harder for me to breathe sometimes, but that's really it.
Yeah, like the heat just takes all away your energy, and when it's a lot easier to run in the cold because it's easier to breathe and just nicer, I guess.
Okay, stop it there. So I'm thinking the best way to do it would be the other group, which is all right, so we're back here in progress here at Cienega High School cross country meet, Sahuaro Cougars, Cienega Bobcats. It's a cat fight out in the desert here, and you can see we have a pair of Cougars that are pacing us here, and they're going to be running behind where we are situated here to the very eastern part of the JV practice field, and now they're about to go on to the desert portion, or the desert portion of the course. Brian, tell us about the desert portion here, this little desert loop. It's not a very long stretch, but describe it for us.
At first, you have to pass people in the beginning of it, otherwise you can't usually pass anyone until a downhill section of the desert. But other than that, there's not much to it. You just can't really pass people in the desert.
And this is also going to be eventually near the finish for them. They'll be coming back up this way before they finish that last stretch here on the course. In terms of distance, what kind of distance are we looking at here so far? Looks like we're looking at there Heather Dowdall and Alex Salazar pacing the Cougars, and there's Sienna Johnson, who has kind of emerged here as the leader for the Bobcat girls as a sophomore. How far are we into this, and how are these kids feeling right now?
We're just a little over a mile into this right now, and they're probably they're out of breath, but they're at a good pace, and they're going to be able to keep up the pace for the rest of the race. And yeah, but Sienna Johnson is a freshman.
Oh, freshman, thank you. Thank you for that. All right, so Sienna Johnson, a freshman, even more impressive for her. There's Alyssa Strite there, who typically paces third for the Bobcats. And you see the rest of the group here coming out. So about a mile in, fair to say that they're about a third into this race. Is that an accurate assessment?
Yeah, they're gonna just run back around the JV field, and they'll come back in for their second loop of the course.
Okay, perfect. And we are going to be going here now to the to the Copper Thunder Marching Band, who has come out here. So it's a skeleton crew from the Copper Thunder Marching Band, and they're going to be playing a selection for us here. You can see Tracy Rowley, who is in charge of the color guard, and she's out here conducting the Copper Thunder Marching Band. They're going to play a selection or two from us, so I'm going to stop talking. We'll listen to the Copper Thunder here as the runners are off in the distance.
How's it sound? Sounds good? That it doesn't really matter how I sound because as soon as they start playing, it's gonna clip out.
There's the Copper Thunder Marching Band with their rendition of Jaws. Tuba Jaws, also a short film by John Hook from last year. Andrew Hoffman was also the executive producer on that. And Matt Moore, of course, one of our Bobcat TV crew. So now you see here the latter group here that's chasing that leading group. From Sahuaro, it's Heather Dowdall and Alex Salazar pacing them. For Cienega, it's Sienna Johnson and then Liz Deaton. So Sienna had made a gesture to the camera as she went through there, very aware that the camera is here. And this has to be festive for these runners here. They're getting extra attention here. We're webcasting it. And also the band being out here just has to be a bit of a boost for them in terms of giving them some extra motivation to keep pushing on and keep moving forward, to quote from Meet the Robinsons.
It's a great movie.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think it's one of my wife's favorites, actually.
It's a cute one. It's got a lot of Disney quotes in it.
It does, and it ends with that song from Rob Thomas from
yeah.
Matchbox 20, and then the quote at the end of the film. So anyway, to keep these guys moving forward as we're going through here. So 4:45, about 15 minutes into this race, which means we're about 5 minutes or so from finishing here. So the fastest time that's out there is Heather Dowdall from Sahuaro at 20:10. That's her best time. Sienna Johnson's best time was set recently at 2017. So we're talking about a gap of 7 seconds. Brian Glazer, tell us, 7 seconds, is that insurmountable, or is that something that is within somebody's reach here?
7 seconds especially a long distance, or not even a long distance race, but 7 seconds in a race is a lot of time.
So that's a substantial margin.
Yeah.
7 seconds. Okay. So we'll see here as we get closer to it. Looking forward here, as you see, there's Taylor Burrup, Courtney Burrup, who is a senior from Cienega, pacing her way through here. Her last run on the grounds here on the turf at Cienega High School. Beautiful weather, just perfect conditions.
Almost a bit chilly if you're in the shade.
Almost a bit chilly.
Almost.
I would say it's sweater weather.
Sweater weather for sure.
Right? Long sleeves for sure. No more short sleevers at this time in the afternoon. As the afternoon gets later on here and the sun begins its descent down, looking toward sunset. So the boys coming up next, you can see that they are beginning to warm up in the distance. We'd like to thank our sponsors for their support of Cienega High School athletics, particularly this this step-by-step or stride-by-stride coverage of cross country. Jeff Daniels with Nova Financial, Walker Family Medicine, Swaim Associates, the Del Lago Golf Club, Rose Custom Builders, Hamstra Heating and Cooling, Lieber Orthodontics, Pizza Hut, Rich Hillman with Nova Home Loans, Momentum Physical Therapy, United Community Health Center, Montgomery's Grill, Vale Family Dentistry, the Leach Wilson Realty Team, Sports Institute of Tucson, Dr. Tyan Dean, Stop and Go Driving School, Proactive Physical Therapy, Pyramid Federal Credit Union, your local State Farm agent Jeff Knoll, and Agero. Safe, smart, and driven. To find out more, go to agero.com. So here we are now, nearing the end here of this stretch. Alex Salazar, Heather Dowdall, and chasing them is Cienega's Sienna Johnson, but they have a bit of a lead here. Brian, tell us in terms of the course where we are at in terms of this race, in terms of completion. How much further do these ladies have to go?
They're just about they don't have too much longer to go. They're gonna just go back around the JV field again and then pick up their pace to get ready for their finish.
Okay, so the JV field. So we're watching them off in the distance over there, Matt. If you can see along that fence row over there. Yep, almost right there. They're running off in that direction, and they're going to be looping around, I guess, toward our right. Are they heading back toward that sprinkler area?
Yeah.
So they go through the sprinkler area. Will they be out of our sight again, coming down the stretch?
They're just The only time they'll be out of our sight is there are a couple of big bins, and then we'll be able to see them for the rest of the race.
Okay, and then we'll be finishing from our right to our left here, going across through that that finish line that's been erected here by our coaching staff. So there's Liz, and not on her best pace here today. And I don't know if there's something that's affecting her health-wise, but she has fallen a bit back off of her typical pace. So the Cougars here in front, just looking at pure numbers. And do you have any idea how the scoring works? We were told last time how that scoring actually operates, but feel free to explain the scoring for this cross-country meet.
The scoring usually works. The first 5, first is 1 point, second is 2 points, 3 is 3 points, and so on. And the fewer the points, the better. So yeah, the first 5 to 10 runners I think are the most important.
Okay, so we're adding up finishes here. First place is the best. It's just a single point. The fewer the points, the better it is for your team. And here we are now, and I'm looking at my watch here unofficially here.
We've got them going in the home stretch.
Okay, down the home
run.
stretch, and I think that is Alex Salazar finishing first here for the Cougars. And I'm going to have a time of 21:09.
Close behind her, the second Sahuaro runner.
Second Sahuaro runner is Heather Dadal, and actually it's 2018, so 20:09, 2018, unofficially here on my Timex watch. There's Sienna Johnson, and I've got her at 20:30. So there's that gap that you were talking about, Brian, right? A 12-second gap or a 7-second gap is rather substantial. And we'll get back to you and confirm here that we've got these results actually correct here. Another Cougar making her way around. And I think that's Daniela Cabrera for the Cougars. And I've got her at 21:04 unofficially. So if Taka were here, he would have had that stopwatch going from the very beginning because he's good like that. There's Haley Ward coming in 5th here for the Cougars. And there's Katie Jenkins, a senior from Sahuaro, coming in 6th. There's Alyssa Strite for the Bobcats coming in 7th. Who came in there 8th, Brian? I missed that.
I missed that too. I wasn't sure who that was.
Might be Arian Castaneda. That is
Here's
a guess.
Emily.
Okay. 8 question mark on that. And there's Liz Deaton, the senior, coming in 9th here today. So a nice top 10 finish for her. We'll get our name in the newspaper.
Here comes Paige.
Paige Bingham coming in 11th. A Cougar coming in 10th, unidentified by us, and we apologize for that. We're just not familiar with these runners. So a quick recap here of the activity. It looks like Cougars coming in 1st, 2nd. Sienna Johnson coming in 3rd for Cienega. Cougars coming in 4th, 5th, and 6th. And then we have Alyssa Strike coming in 7th. I believe Arian Castaneda coming in 8th. Liz Deaton coming in 9th. Another Cougar coming in 10th. And then Paige Bingham coming in 11th. Another Bobcat coming here with a nice strong finish, getting encouragement from her coach Josh Farr and the parents that are assembled here. The band striking it up. Very festive occasion here today on senior night. Of course, these Bobcats will be out at Quiznos after this meet, fundraising and hanging out with each other. And they may swing by there for maybe an iced tea, and maybe I can have some jalapenos from that jalapeno bar or something. Another Cougar here coming in with a strong finish. So Brian, when a runner comes in here with such a strong finish, did they leave too much out there in their tank, too much in reserve, and not push themselves hard enough over the course of the run?
I think that you can always, oh, and here comes Kimberly Fraunfeld. But yeah, when you're at a finish, I think you can always sprint. It's all mental, really. You can't beat yourself up during the race, and you can't tell yourself that you can't sprint, because I personally think that you can always sprint. I always sprint at the end of a race. Yeah.
Finish up strong.
Yeah, like right here.
These girls here all finishing strongly. You have a fan there, a young fan, running alongside two Bobcat runners as they finish their stretch. And there's a Cougar putting on a bit of a sprint there at the finishing for her. So we do have a couple of runners that are still out there for the girls. We have a Bobcat here just making that last turn coming down the stretch. And then the boys, they'll either be starting, is it 5 o'clock, or will they wait a couple of minutes for the rest of the girls here to finish their run on the course?
They might start at 5. I think I think they do wait at least until the last girl comes in. So
we can see in the distance here that there are a couple of runners, silhouettes at this point for us, far in the distance. Probably about 170 yards away from us as they approach that final stretch for them before they come down the very end dash. So a nice run here today by these ladies. Some tremendous effort here and some great sportsmanship as you see the girls congratulating their teammates, and as well as congratulating their opponents out here on the course today. But certainly seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but it seems like from what I've seen from cross country, the runners are all very congratulatory toward one another. It doesn't matter if it's on the same team or a different team. It seems like there's some great sportsmanship being displayed here by the runners.
yeah, a lot of cross country runners, and I'm sure a lot of sports too. They're really good about it, congratulating each other.
Band strikes up here, trying to give some extra encouragement. We've got a Cat finishing her way here, just getting across that finish line. So Brian, when you finish, what's your first thought? Where's the water? Or
Yeah, where's the water?
that's the first thing you're going for. Catch your breath a little bit and get some cold water to rehydrate and cool off. Over the course of a day, a competition day, how much water are you consuming over the course of a day to prepare yourself for the challenge of this 5K run?
A couple of bottles of water throughout the day, and then I drink maybe another bottle during the warm up and when we're just getting ready for the race.
Because I know Chris Leach, who is a senior, who is getting set to run here in his last cross-country meet at Cienega High School. He's in my first period class, and like clockwork, he'll ask me if he can refill, and he'll drink at least a bottle a class period. And I think it's like a 32-ouncer. Okay, here's Courtney Burrup finishing her way here, another senior. Nice run by her. I've got her unofficially at 27:40. And we may have one final runner out on the course as she approaches the desert loop here, which means that she's got a bit to go. One last way around the fringe or the perimeter of the JV football field, And then that last dash on the western border of the JV football field coming down before the last dash, the last home stretch here in front of us. Just doing some quick calculations here. So Cody is putting together a graphic here, I think, with our top 10 finishers and top 8 finishers from here for today. And we will have to confirm that indeed our order that we had seen going through here, a bit of it is a little bit of conjecture and speculation on our behalf, and certainly we apologize out there to the runners and the parents of the runners for any inconsistencies in our reporting. Sarah, do me a favor, just give me the bottom page of that that clipboard. That's my boys roster from here for today. So looking at the times, and Brian, you can take a look at this as well here with me. We've got the top runner from Sahuaro, a junior, is Anthony Estrella at 17:08. I am going to let's clock these guys on our stopwatches here. Once we get the start off here, and they're just warming up. My heart just leapt in my chest right now because I thought the race was beginning. But the boys here just having a little bit of a warm up. So Anthony Estrella from Sahuaro at 17:08. And then Adam Montano at 18:03, and Peter Rosado at 18:17.
Oh, and there the boys go as they run off in there.
That's just a little bit of a warm-up stretch for them. But you keep me posted here. I don't want to miss the beginning of the start of this race. So we have 3 Cougars coming in at times of 18:17 or better. For Cienega, Chris Leach's best time this year is 18:24. Alec White is right on his heels at 18:25, and Corey Trepanier at 18:42. So the top 3 runners from Cienega are between a minute and 50 seconds slower than Sahuaro. So on paper, Sahuaro's top 3 runners versus Cienega's top 3 runners, Sahuaro has an advantage here. All right, we see the huddle there. What's being discussed in that huddle? Who's talking and what are they talking about?
Before every meet, we have a prayer, and then we have a cheer. And the captain of the team leads the cheer, and he pretty much just puts his hands down and then throws them in the air, and he yells up high, and then he puts them down and yells down low. And then after we do that a couple of times, someone says 1, 2, 3, and we all yell cats.
Nice. And that's Chris Leach, who is a senior. 104 senior boys here today. And Sahuaro has their pregame ritual.
There on the screen we see the top 8 finishers unofficially for the women's race, or the girls.
Very nice. Thank you, Sarah Arnold, one of our Bobcat TV crew, out here making her on-air debut, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Sarah.
the first time I've been talking. I'm a little nervous.
Nice. It's kind of like the first time that you have a little ice cream. It tastes good, you like it, you know it's good for you. This is all good for you.
I just got to get used to it, I think.
Right, and then when you're finished, you're like, I'd like some more ice cream, please. When's that going to happen again?
Hopefully, hopefully.
So we've got it looks like they're about to start here, and the only question, well, they're going to wait now. So we have our last finisher here from Cienega, and I don't know if you can identify her or not, Brian, but we'll see her as she finishes up here. So the very last finisher for the girls, and the boys respectfully here waiting for her to finish. She's getting encouragement and support from a demonstrative crowd out here.
This is Katie.
All right, so Katie here finishing up.
A strong finish from her.
Very nice. Tremendous effort by here today. So Katie is our last girl runner. And let's get ready for these stopwatches here.
As the boys get ready to take off, the band next to them.
And is it starter pistol? Is that what's starting us here?
Yeah.
And will Mr. Farr be starting that pistol? It looks like the boys here are just, again, doing some last second stretching and warming up here.
Just making sure that they keep loose.
Everything's loose, loosey-goosey. You can see Sahuaro kind of bouncing around over there as well, making sure that they're ready to go. You don't want to stiffen up, right? These guys have been waiting to go here. Starts with some pregame stretching.
You got the tuba chasing them. That's good motivation.
Yeah, that's John Hook. I'd like to thank the Copper Thunder Marching Band, the contingent that came out here today representing Jim Matashino's excellent band, receiving excellent ratings. And my indicator here is going to be body language. And it looks like everybody is getting set here at the start line. Coach Farr has his earphones on, and he has that starter pistol. And we are ready to go. The timer's ready to go. There it goes. And they are off. Advantage for Sahuaro in terms of numbers. They have a huge contingent here, at least a score of runners out there. And Cienega doesn't have the same numbers. Any sort of tactical advantage in having a larger team and your teammates out there running with you?
I don't think that, I'm not exactly sure, but I don't think that the team sizes matter that much. I'm not 100% sure on that, though.
Just a little intimidating to see such a large team that you're going against here. So again, to recap for you from earlier today here, the girls' results. And actually, we're going to see if we can get Sam or Sarah to confirm the results that we have here on paper. So if there's anything that's amiss from our girls' results, we can make the amendment or the change to that. So yeah, we want to verify. So I've got my finishers here. Every person has a number and a circle next to them. So I have Alex Salazar, Heather Dowdall, and you can check her name pronunciation for me too. It would be wonderful. Sienna Johnson from Cienega, and then Daniela Cabrera, and I think fifth I have Haley Ward, Caitlin Jenkins coming in sixth from Sahuaro, and then I have Alyssa Stripe from Cienega, Ariane Castañeda from Cienega, Liz Deaton from Cienega 9th, and Kristen Powell 10th. They're the 10 finishers that I have, but if you want to take a pen and just verify and confirm that, that would be super useful. Here you see the runners from Sahuaro and the runners from Cienega, and there's Chris Leach, our senior, making his way past there, as well as James Cox. And what are you seeing here in terms of stride, in terms of form? How are these guys looking? It's early, I know, in the race, Brian, but how are these guys looking so far?
So far they're looking pretty good. A lot of them I do notice, though, are heel striking, which is not exactly good for you. You're supposed to land on the balls of your feet.
So the front portion of your foot, not the toes, but that little portion kind of near the front third of your foot. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you're striking the ball of your foot, and then your foot does what? Does it come down flat? Does it kind of roll down from the front to the back?
They tell us to like land on the balls of our feet and then I guess roll our feet down, and so we do touch our like whole foot to the ground.
Right, right. But it starts with the ball. You don't want to start heel first, because what's the disadvantage of having your heels contact? And instead of just having like maybe plantar fasciitis or shin splints.
I'm not sure of any other disadvantages. I do know that is the reason that I am not running today, though, because I have shin splints.
Shin splints.
Yeah. I do try to focus on my form, but once you get out there in the race, it's really hard to focus on it. It's mainly your feet. That's the hardest part, is making sure that you land on the balls of your feet, because once you get tired, that's not what you want to do.
can running be natural? Can it be a natural thing, or is it something that is coached, or is it something that's refined with natural talent, or some combination of those things?
Well, mainly like especially the form. Just the form is it's a lot more complicated than I ever thought
Right.
to like this is my first year of cross country and the form is really important and it's a lot more complex than I thought.
But you're one of the better runners. I mean, I was looking somewhere. I don't have my information sheet in front of me, but I have your time down as like a
2001.
20:01, right? So that would place you fifth from Cienega. Chris Leach is first, Alec White is second, Corey Trepanier is third, then James Cox is fourth, and you're fifth, and you're a freshman. So you are the top-ranking freshman on Cienega's team. So that's impressive. So shin splints today. Now, what about from Sahuaro? Are our results correct from Sahuaro's side as well? And then I don't know about times. Could we get a verification on times? Did we check Sahuaro's finishes and times? My clock time is totally inaccurate from the first race. So yeah, absolutely. So let's watch a clip now. It's a perfect time here. We've got the runners off in the distance, and we have a couple of interviews that we want to play from earlier today that we recorded in studio. So tell us, here you are at the end of your cross-country career, your last senior home meet. What does senior night mean to each of you?
Well, to me, it's kind of just, it's happy and it's also sad. It's sad that the season's almost over because the team's, it's really fun and there's just a bunch of good guys and girls on it. But it's kind of sad just to see the season's gone like that. It was, these weeks have just flown by and it's kind of sad. But also, it's really happy.
I think senior night's great because you get to reflect on like past experiences and all the fun that you've had. But like James said, it's also kind of sad because this is like our last home meet, so better give it our all.
Yeah.
Did you want to thank anybody or send a message out to anybody who might be watching?
I'd like to say thanks to my dad and my mom. They're always there for me when it comes to sports and stuff like that. And whenever I need something, they're always usually helpful and usually buy something for me if I need it.
I would like to also thank my parents because they always encourage me to try new things and to do my best and like no matter what, and they're always there to support me. So thanks.
Okay. So Corey Trepanier, perfect. One of our seniors.
And James Cox.
And here's James Cox, another senior. Taking a deep breath there, but he seems to be in good form.
And then Michael Waybright and Sean. I'm not sure what his last name is.
Okay, we'll see if we can get a roster here for verification on these runners from Cienega.
And here comes Aaron.
Okay, so Sean Stevens and Aaron Carey.
Lots of Sahuaro runners.
Right.
The numbers are definitely showing up
Yeah.
on the track here.
Yeah, for sure. It's like an army that they brought with them for this cross-country meet here today.
And Caleb and Jung Park.
Caleb Blevins, Jung Park.
Nick Irvin.
There's Nick Irvin. He was our color analyst from last time. Not in peak form. There's Garrett Anderson, one of the seniors from Cienega.
Stephen, Connor, and Michael as well.
Connor Tipping, Steven Jibes, and Michael Nave Jr. all working their way through there. Jung Park gave me a recommendation for a sushi restaurant earlier today. I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you what that was. I have yellowtail and spicy tuna both on my mind right now.
Oh, I would definitely take Jung's recommendation. He's a very smart kid, knows what he's talking about.
Kazoku Sushi, Albert Island Speedway. I sent a text to my wife earlier, and it said this: Kazoku Sushi, Albert Island Speedway. Just a random note. I wanted to let her know it was just a random note because I didn't want her to think like, is that where you want to go for my birthday celebration? No, not there. But anyway, he was telling me about Sushi Garden being kind of like a run-of-the-mill sushi place, and that's a very popular establishment with nice ambiance. But I'm going to take his recommendation and go to Kazoku on Albert Island Speedway.
We hope that fills your cravings, Mr. Miller.
Well, just talking about it actually makes me want it more. So I don't think I'm having sushi tonight. I think we're going to grill some burgers on the grill when I get home tonight. I'm guessing around 7:30-ish. So we're about 9:15 into this run here, and the sun is right there. Of course it is, right in our camera lens, right in our faces, off to the west. And the runners here making their way through. And again, it's Sahuaro dominant here. So, you know, making a prediction about the results, at least from the boys here today, I think it's pretty easy to call here that Sahuaro has a strong force. On paper, their top runners have faster times than Cienega's runners. They have more runners that are out here kind of pacing the way. So here's our first, that was our first runner coming through, right? That's a great shot. Matt, if you look this way to your left, let's get a head-up shot of these guys coming through. That's a great shot. So these are the leaders here. Anthony Estrella and Adam Montano, about 10:17 coming in at this point.
Sahuaro runners just keep coming.
Yeah, I want to say that there are like 6 or 7 of them coming through here in the lead. Now we have official results. Sam Battalini, who is the secretary of Bobcat TV, and just an all-around nice person. I want to thank her for getting the official time and results from the girls. As you see Chris Leach there, brushing a little something out of his left eye. Alec White trailing behind him from Cienega. They're the top 2 for the Bobcats. And there's Corey Trepanier from the Cats as well. Vive la France. Top 5 finishers today. Alex Salazar at 19:55. I was way off on that time for me. Heather Dowdell at 19:59 coming in second for the Cougars. Sienna Johnson at 20:17 coming in third. That ties her best mark for the season. And then we have Tessa Brooks from Sahuaro coming in at 20:50, and Haley Ward from Sahuaro at 21:36. So they are the top 5. We'll see if we can kind of reconfigure the results here, at least on my sheet, which is a mess. I missed something somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay. Sarah Arnold, Jason Miller, Brian Glazer.
Coming
Brian,
to you from Cienega.
live from Cienega High School. And then in terms of form here, Brian, what are we looking at? Long strides, shorter strides, consistent strides. You talked about foot contact and where you want to be making contact with your feet, the balls of the feet, and kind of rolling down. Short strides or long strides better?
I think it's more in between. Not too long of a stride, but a decent stride. The knees. I know your knees are supposed to come up a bit, and your legs are supposed to come up. Not like not as a butt kick, but it's supposed to come up.
Come up a little bit.
Yeah. And your knees are supposed to do kind of like a circular motion, like you're riding a bike. and when you want to lean forward a little bit, because that gives you a little bit more speed, because you kind of start falling over.
Right.
So you only want a 1 to 2 degree lean.
So slightly leaning forward a little bit. Balls of the feet striking the ground first, and then on the back part of the stride, the heel should be coming vertical a little bit, but not too much.
And your arms, you drive your elbows back, and then you don't want to swing your arms around your body too much.
So tight arms, elbows tucked in toward the body, not all loosey-goosey flapping all over the place.
Not too tight, because that can, like a couple races ago, I was a little too tight and I kind of hurt my shoulders. But you keep kind of loose at times, and sometimes during the race I'll throw my arms down, just try to stay a little loose, but at the same time not you don't want to stay too tight.
Nice. Today's Bobcat TV special code word of the day is loosey-goosey. Every time that we say loosey-goosey, we'll be monitoring that at home. You could win cash prizes and toaster giveaways.
Toasters. Cool.
So you gotta bail soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bail soon. Unfortunately.
All right, so about 14:50 into this race. And for the boys, we're about 3 minutes exactly away from the finish of this race. We'll see if we can pick up Adam Montano from the Cougars of Sahuaro, and that might be him on this desert portion of the course. Anthony Estrella, Adam Montano, a pair of juniors from Sahuaro, Peter Rosado, who is a senior from Sahuaro. Those are the top 3 guys to look out for. Estrella's time, a blistering 17:08, so he's close to breaking that 17-minute mark. And encouraging, we saw a Cougar there encouraging one of his teammates to get around the Cat first place runner, who is Chris Leach, right? The foremost of the Bobcat runners. Alec White trying to put up some distance here behind him, trying to catch up.
I would definitely say the numbers of Sahuaro are a big help. You have a lot of encouragement from your team. Definitely feel comfortable running around them.
A bit intimidating, I would say, as well. You see a waxing gibbous moon directly to the east over there. I want to thank Cody Losi for giving me some information here.
Beautiful moon.
About the moon. No effect here on the runners. Certainly on the waves. Tasty waves in the Pacific. But no effect on the runners here. Maybe on their mood. It might be a little bit down if it's a full moon or a nearly full moon. All right, so now we've got a Cougar here at a blistering pace here and a chance of breaking 17. 16:45, 47, 48.
Oh, that's insane.
16:53 unofficially. And I think that's Anthony Estrella. We will have to confirm that. Maybe, Sam, before you can leave, that could be your last responsibility for us today here.
And he had a huge lead
Just get
on the rest of the race.
Just get a verification of the boys finisher from Sahuaro at 16:53 and verify that time. Boy, that's fast.
The next Sahuaro
Next Sahuaro runner for sure, that's Adam Montano. And his best time is 18:03, and he has a great chance here of finishing under 18. And he is going to do that with a strong finish. Adam Montano coming in at 17:44.
More Sahuaro runners.
Very impressive. Peter Rosado coming in at 17:55. Thomas Frazina coming in at 18:02. That is a strong quartet of Cougars coming in here.
We got another Cougar, and then Chris Leach right behind him.
So 1824, and Chris coming in here at 1828, just totally spent.
And then Alec White behind that.
Alec White coming in at 1837. There's Joseph Chan coming in 9th.
And Corey Tripoche.
Corey Trepanier coming in 10th, so he'll get his name in the newspaper for Cienega, the senior. So Chris Leach, I have to say this here, another Cougar coming in strong, sprinting down the finish. Boy, everybody seems to be kind of like launched out of a cannon coming down this final stretch. Sprints all the way down through here for all these boys. In fairness to Chris Leach, I know I have some insider information. He was lifting yesterday. He takes weights with Marty Niblo, a great wrestling coach here at Cienega. And there's James Cox, a senior, coming down the stretch.
Just sprinting.
Great
Jamesy at
finish.
1940. And I missed Corey's time as he came in. We'll get that for you in a few minutes. But Chris was lifting yesterday with his legs, and his legs were destroyed. Who's
And then
coming
here
in?
comes Michael Waybright trying to break his 20 minutes, and it looks like he's going to do it.
Close. I think he did, 1959.
It looks like he did. And then here comes Sean.
Sean Stevens, freshman, one of your fellow freshmen coming in there. Nice finish, strong. But many Cougars here, all being cheered on by their teammates. Got another Cougar here coming strong down the stretch. Some nice static camera work here by Bobcat TV. So the winning time here, and this is really impressive, Anthony Estrella coming in at 16:53. Then we have Adam Montano coming in at 17:44 for Sahuaro. And Peter Rosado coming in at 17:55. Thomas Frazina coming in at 18:02.
And then here, Aaron. I'm not sure what his last name is.
But that's a tremendous sprint there from Sahuaro. And for Cienega, that's Aaron Carey, the junior, finishing up for the Bobcats. 16. Awesome, Sam. Thank you so much.
Garrett's
Garrett
coming
Anderson,
in
here he comes.
right now.
So Garrett at 21:34.
And then Jung Park.
Jung Park at 21:40. So just to finish my story here about Chris Leach having lifted weights yesterday, and he said his legs were dead, and today just sore, like difficult for him to climb up a staircase. So not ideal. Here's Nick Irvin, the junior, our color analyst from last telecast. He'll be joining us tomorrow on Bobcat TV as we bring you live swimming coverage from the Clement Center.
And Connor just finished, and Michael's close behind him.
Very nice,
Michael Nave.
Connor tipping. Michael Nave.
And Steven.
Steven Jibes, who's a freshman. Very nice. This is great to see. And how festive and how great did that Copper Thunder marching band out here sound today. Just terrific.
Oh, here on the screen we have the top 8 finishers from the boys' race. Anthony E. in first, Adam M. in second, Peter R. in third, Thomas F. in fourth, Kenneth F. in fifth, Chris L. in sixth, Alex W. in seventh, and Dylan H. in eighth.
Perfect. So Anthony Estrella, we've talked about it. We had the time at 16:53 unofficially, and now we can substantiate that by saying that it's now official on my Timex watch. This broadcast is brought to you by Timex. To be on time and punctual, there's nothing wrong with that. Timex. Anthony Estrella at 16:53 came in first here today. Adam Montano, his teammate, came in second unofficially with a time of 17:44. Coming in third was Peter Rosado at 17:55. So Estrella, a junior, Montano, a junior, Rosado, a senior. Thomas Frazina, a sophomore, came in fourth from Sahuaro in a time of 18:02. Kenneth Fluker, a senior, came in fifth place. No time for him. And coming in sixth place, it was Cienega's senior, Chris Leach, with a time of 18:28. Alec White from Cienega came in seventh place in a time of 18:37. And then it was Dylan Holly from Sahuaro coming in eighth place. Ninth place, it was Joseph Chan in a time of 1912 unofficially. And then Corey Trepanier, the other Cienega senior, coming in 10th place here today. So top 10 finishers get their names printed in the newspaper, the Arizona Daily Star. And I suppose online on the Tucson Citizens website, but that's just a guess. That's pure speculation.
Hopefully. Everything's on the internet nowadays.
Yeah, everything is, right? So if it's on the internet, it has to be true.
This is true.
So, Brian Glazer, I want to thank you for coming on our webcast here today. Any final thoughts from you in terms of what we saw here? So, it was as we projected, at least for the boys. Looking at the top 10 finishers, you have 7 runners from Sahuaro in dominant fashion. Anthony Estrella with a time of 16:53. How fast is that? To me, that looks super fast. Is it super fast at the time?
That is very fast. That's crazy.
So that places him, I would imagine it places him somewhere, at least in southern Arizona. I would guess in like a top 10, but we haven't seen, I don't know who the other elite programs for cross country are. I would imagine that Rincon, I know they've had a strong program in years past. I would just guess that Sal Point, I would guess Sabino would have, Rio Rico has a strong cross country team. Am I right with my other guesses there? Sal Point and Sabino, they have a good cross country running?
Yeah, I think they do. We were at a invitational. I don't know if they were there, but we had boys coming in at low 15s. So, they're pretty quick.
A speedy time of anything under 17, anything under 18, quite frankly, for me, seems to be very, very strong. But coming in under 17 is particularly impressive. And Anthony Estrella, the junior from Sahuaro, indeed breaking that 17-minute mark. For the girls, to recap the top 5 finishers in that contest, it was Alex Salazar, who is a senior from Sahuaro, coming in at 19:55. Then it was Heather, and I apologize, Heather Dowdall coming in at 19:59. She's a junior in second place. Cienega's lone top 5 finisher was Sienna Johnson, coming in at a time of 20:17, matching her season best. Then it was Tessa Brooks from Sahuaro, a senior, at 20:50. And finally, it was Haley Ward, who is a freshman from Sahuaro, at 21:36. The rest of the finishers from the girls, unofficially, and it's a bit of guesswork here and patchwork. Katie Jenkins, a senior from Sahuaro, came in 6th place. Alyssa Strite, the Cienega sophomore, came in 7th. In 8th place, it was Cienega's Ariane Castaneda. In 9th place, it was, and I'm missing, I have Liz. Okay, so Liz Deaton coming in 9th place. And in 10th place, it was Sahuaro's Kristen Powell. So that's the unofficial finishers. Oh, sorry, correction here. Emily Fruge, I apologize. So Emily Fruge came in 9th place, and Emily is a Cienega runner. So Emily coming in, and she's a freshman. So Emily coming in 9th place from Cienega will have her name in the newspaper in tomorrow's paper. Liz Deaton, the senior, coming in 10th. So I apologize for the misinformation here and a bit of confusion, but as these finishers were coming across the line, trying to identify them and also place them was a bit of a challenge. So we were hoping to have interviews post-race, but I don't think we have a wireless set up here today. So, oh, we do have a wireless set up. Everybody's gone. So everybody's gone here. So we apologize for that. We would love to have some seniors on camera getting interviewed here, but we did play some clips from earlier. Did we play those other clips that we had in the queue? Let's play those last 2 clips here. We'll come back after that and we'll sign off. We'll see in the meantime if we can grab a senior or 2, at least from Cienega, for a quick interview. But stay tuned here for some interviews with seniors from earlier today. Okay, Chris, we were talking earlier about what do you think about when you're running your race? If you could shed some insight into your thoughts as you're going through your race.
Well, I guess it really just depends what part of the race you're at. I mean, if you're in the beginning of the race, mile 1, you're just thinking about holding good form, hoping your pace is good, what place you're in possibly. And then once you start to get towards the end of the race, like mile 2, mile 3 is when this is when it starts to really get tough. You just got to hold on, hold the good solid pace. Me personally, at mile 2, I'm always thinking, how am I going to finish this last mile, because I'm always so dead. But that last little part of the race, you just got to hang on and just give it everything you got.
Liz, how about you? What goes through your mind when you're running your race?
Well, always, like, when I first start, I'm, like, really nervous and my heart's, like, going, like, a million miles. So I'm usually thinking, oh my gosh, I'm running, like, freaking out because I'm trying to get a good spot in the race and everything. And then as mile 2 comes, I'm more, like, just focus on, like, okay, let's keep our form, you can do this, you can make it through the race, like, and just trying to encourage myself. And then mile 3, I'm usually like, okay, let's just finish this because it hurts so bad.
Any special expectations for today, being that it's senior night? You guys have both been with the program for 4 years. Can you talk about how you've changed over time from freshman year to senior year, and also what your expectations are for today?
Well, my expectations for tonight is I want to get below a 19 minutes for the 3-mile course, and I'd like to make the top 10 one more time, because if you get in the top 10, your name goes in the paper, and I've only done that once this year, so hoping to do that. Really, just through my high school career, I've just really learned a lot about my form. I've learned a lot how to race. I've learned a lot how to become a better runner and just itself. I've also improved my times a lot, so I'd just say I've really progressed as a better athlete and a better runner through the high school career.
Yeah, I would say the same, because I remember coming as like a freshman, I was like the baby on the team, and I had a lot of older runners to look up to, and I learned a lot from them. But as the years went on, I slowly became the older one, and now being a leader has really like changed everything, because now you're trying to help other people too, because you have all that experience. And I've learned a lot about running and form and just about racing in general. And tonight, my expectations are I just want to have a good race, like just get a good time like it happened and stay in the top 10. And yeah, and it's like really just preparation for sectionals for me. Wait, where are we looking?
Okay, Liz, you talked about being a mentor. What does mentoring these younger runners, what does that look like?
Well, so me and Chris are the captains because we're seniors this year and we've been doing it for 4 years. And basically, like, we just have to make sure that everyone's like staying focused and doing their workouts and stuff, because when you're younger, it's not like you're kind of all over the place and stuff, and you're not as serious and stuff, so we're trying to keep everyone serious and make sure that the goal of state is still in focus. And we'll teach them like how to do their dynamics and their warm-up and stretching, and lead them and answer questions that they have and help them with just anything that they need. So.
And Chris, we were talking earlier today, you did some weightlifting yesterday, particularly on your legs, and you were telling me that your legs felt weak.
Mm-hmm.
What are you feeling like, and what are you expecting today?
Well, I'm still a little sore from yesterday. It's weird because I normally do lifting as part of a class I take here. I normally do lifting before my races, and I'm never sore. And this time I can barely get up flights of stairs without having to strain a little bit. So I'm just staying positive about it. You know, I'm going to be sore at the start line. I'm going to be sore at mile 2. It doesn't matter. So I'm just hoping to fight through it and get through it. Be fine.
Would you like to send any special thanks out to anybody who might be watching the broadcast?
Well, I'd like to thank all my supporters, my mom, my dad, Mama, Papa, Grandpa. They're always texting me and calling me, wondering how I'm doing and wishing me good luck in my race. So I'd like to thank them. As long as my friends and teachers and coaches always helping me get through the season, getting through tough times, good times. So just everybody who's there for me and supports me, I'd like to say thank you.
Yeah, I want to say thanks to my mom and dad because they've given me rides and helped me with all, like, buying new shoes and everything I need for the sports for 4 years now. And they've always been a good support for me. And then also my sister, Victoria, because she's always, like, asked me how my races are and wants to come see them, but she's got soccer most of the time. But she's always there for me. And then all my friends who always, like, want to support me, and also the coaches, Burnham and Farr, because have been really good coaches and have really brought us, like, a really, like, far away.
Okay, so you can see there's one of our super seniors, Courtney Burrup, and one of her teammates looking very festive. Liz Deaton crossing the screen there, going left to right. And again, there's Courtney Burrup. And looks like the manager there from, or actually that might be her mom.
That's her sister.
Sorry, that's her sister. Who looks like her mother. They all actually look like, they all resemble her mother. And again, hydrating and rehydrating, right? So one of the first things that you want to do when you're finished there, there's a nice shot there. We've got Jung Park, a sophomore here, one of the boys from Cienega, and Courtney, one of the seniors there, making her way off here. I wonder if she's savoring those last moments here on her last run on this home course at Cienega High School. Again, finishers, top 5 will go for the girls. Alex Salazar from Sahuaro in a time of 19:55. Heather Dowdall in a time of 19:59. Cienega's Sienna Johnson at 20:17. Sahuaro's Tessa Brooks at 20:50. Sahuaro's Haley Ward at 21:36. Sahuaro's Katie Jenkins, a senior, at 22:34. Cienega's Alyssa Strite coming in 7th place. Cienega's Ariane Castaneda coming in 8th. Emily Fruge coming in 9th, the freshman. And rounding out the top 10 finishers in her final run here at Cienega High School is Liz Deaton, the senior from the Bobcats. For the boys' top 10 finishers, we have Anthony Estrella in that blistering time of 16:53. His teammate, also a junior, Adam Montano, coming in at 17:44. The senior from Sahuaro, Peter Rosado, coming in at 17:55 in 3rd place. Their 4th place finisher is the sophomore from Sahuaro, Thomas Frazina, at 18:02. Kenneth Fluker from Sahuaro coming in 5th place. Then it was Cienega's senior Chris Leach coming in 6th. Cienega sophomore Alec White coming in 7th. Sahuaro's Dylan Holly coming in 8th place. The 9th place finisher was Sahuaro's Joseph Chan, who is a senior. And the final finisher is a senior from Cienega, Corey Trepanier. How fitting that the senior here having a strong finish to his running career. For our entire crew, I'd like to thank Cody Losi, our technical director and chief operating officer, Matt Moore, our lead cameraman and director, Sam Battolini, our behind-the-scenes producer, making her debut on Bobcat TV, Sarah Arnold. We want to thank Brian Glazer, the freshman who was our color analyst here today. Brian Glazer, thank you so much. I'm Jason Miller. Thanks for tuning into Bobcat TV.
Signing
We'll
off.
bring you swim team tomorrow. That'll be stroke-by-stroke coverage as those swimmers make their way into the pool. It's a heated pool at Clemens, so it'll be warmer than you think. But anyway, get that hot cocoa going. We'll see you also Thursday night for football, Friday night for varsity football, and Friday dodgeball. Good night.
Good night.